right, fire it up. Let's do your thing here, bud. Nobody's any better at this than you are.
That's fine. Take a deep breath.
Give them hell at the end. You like this?
Fighting like hell like we do every week. You are the best here. Brett, be affirmative. You told me to get on.
Info. Ready. Ready. Go slow. Green, green, green. Lock it down, lock it down.
I'm destroyed, and I just got drove through like 6 times on the 14th. What the f*** is he thinking? That is the stupidest thing I've seen in my career. Literally.
Everything you described is accurate. Haven't even finished the second stage yet. Half the field's wrecked.
Hell yeah!
11 got it. Rowdy there, Matt. Good job, pal. Thanks, man. Good job all day. Great work, my man. Great work.
Keep putting yourself in position, we'll win our share, right? We got one back today, brother. Good job.
10-4, great job, guys.
And welcome back to Racing in the Draft. My name is Mark. Thanks for showing up again for race 25. 2 races to go left until we finish out the regular season. And Kyle Larson, now leader of the points standings. With the misfortunes of Denny Hamlin's late race debacle issues with Chase Briscoe. We could spend a whole episode just talking about all the debacles that happened at Indy Road Course. I think it's an exciting place. I think it's a great venue. I think it potentially could be something that would be great to have on the schedule on a regular permanent basis, but they've got to work out some of these kinks and issues, and just NASCAR, in my opinion, making bad judgment calls, especially when it comes to cautions and issues with the track. I understand it's the first time they've raced the road course in a stock car, so we're going to have some growing pains, but it seems like every time we turn around we're having issues with rain or too much rain, or when to call cautions, when not to call cautions, tracks coming up and things of that nature. You know, I mean, I know things happen, but we probably were in store for a very solid finish with decent running, people finishing up front, and a lot of people's cars got torn up, and that's a shame. But all in all, I mean, it was pretty dramatic and pretty exciting to watch the end of it, even though it took forever. But with that being said, hey, how about AJ Allmendinger? The dinger finishing it up at the end. Kind of saw that one potentially happening, but it wouldn't have ever happened if the strange happenings at Indy hadn't happened. So I'm happy for AJ. I'm happy for that team. They're going to have a full-time Cup ride team next year, maybe even a second. But AJ's he's a lot of fun. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. You know how he's feeling. He's typically a pretty good racer, especially at road courses. So I'm happy for him and Colleague Racing on getting their first Cup win. AJ's, I think, second Cup win in his career, but first in a really, really long time. So happy for that team and happy that it happened to them. So if, you know, we could talk about something good that happened in the race, that was it. Ended up finishing pretty good in the money, and wish I had listened to myself with my Justin Haley. Take him, he's pretty good at road courses, and he's practicing the day before, or running the day before, because if I had put him in, I probably would have finished first or second in most of my fields. But instead, I finished middle of the pack, still making a little bit of money. But hey, hopefully you had a good week. If you did, make sure you let me know in the comments below, and make sure you like, subscribe, and share this with anybody that likes NASCAR and DraftKings. So let's look at some of the points from the Indy Road Course. As we see, Justin Haley in there for the optimal lineup. Eric Jones. Kyle Larson was the dominator and the only dominator for that race, leading 28 laps. But place differential was key, and that's kind of what I figured it was going to be. It was supposed to be subscribed to 82 laps and ended up being 95 laps because of all the craziness there towards the end. That really didn't skew the dominator to place differential thought process that I would have had. AJ getting the win, put himself into that optimal lineup. But Ryan Newman, boy, I did not see that one happening. I think he was just far enough back in the pack that he was able to avoid the calamity there in the last 10 laps. And because of that, he and Justin Haley both ended up with pretty good finishing days. So, Kyle Larson now at the top of the heap for the optimal lineups. And Daniel Suarez still sitting there with 8. I think we'll probably see Kyle Larson get to 12 or 13 optimal lineups by the time this is all said and done and the season wraps up. But we have 2 races left to decide who's going to make the playoffs and who isn't. Kevin Harvick potentially could still not find himself outside of the 16 playoff contenders if we have 2 new winners this week and Daytona next week, because that's always a wild card race. Denny Hamlin, without a win, still got himself enough points to secure himself into the playoffs. So realistically, there are 2 spots left open. So with 2 races left, it could be anybody's game. Just have to watch and see. I think Kevin Harvick stands a pretty good shot of potentially winning this Sunday at Michigan. He runs very, very well there, even though he is having a pretty rough year as far as Stewart Haas is also going. But with that being said, let's take a look at the reason you guys came. This week at Michigan International Raceway for the Firekeepers Casino 400. It's a track type large oval. It's 2 miles in length, 18 degrees in the corners. It's got about 7 gazillion different lines to run. No, I'm kidding. You can run 5 different lanes on this track. It's super wide, it's super fast. It's almost full throttle all the way through until your tires start to give up a little bit. But 200 laps is the race length. Dominator points will come into play this week. 140 of those. 50 lead laps. 50 points for lead laps and 90 points for fast laps. Now, let's take a look at our driver breakdown. Kyle Larson, of course, at the top of the heap and number 1 on the power ranking, 11,500. And guess what? Starting from the pole. He missed both of the starts last year because of his suspension. But the other 5 races, the last 5 races at Michigan, he does have 3 starts with 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, and 3 top 20s, a 42.5 DraftKings average, and 11.3 average finish. As we said, he didn't race in last year's race, so NA on the finish for that one. 12 total races here at Michigan, 3 total wins. He does run very well here. 5 top 5s, 6 top 10s, and 10 top 20s. I always hate the pole position, but being Kyle Larson runs extremely well here, I potentially think he could just stink the show up this Sunday. But he potentially couldn't. I wouldn't put him in every lineup, but I will definitely, one of the few times that I will have the pole sitter and take a decent amount, maybe 30% of my lineups will have Kyle Larson in them. Next in line here, Kyle Busch, another really good large oval racetrack driver. 10,800. Actually, Kyle Busch is pretty good at everything. Starting 7th, second on the power rankings. Does not have a win in the last 5, and we'll see why here in a little bit. One person has stuck up the show at Michigan recently. But 4 top 5s, 5 top 10s, and 5 top 20s. A 54.7 DraftKings average and a 4.6 average finish. He finished 4th here in the second race. They ran back-to-back races at Michigan last year. The last race was the second race. Finished 4th. Not 32 total starts at Michigan. He does only have 1 win, but 9 top 5s, 14 top 10s, and 23 top 20s. Next in line here, Denny Hamlin, 10,400. In the playoffs, but without a win at this point. And it's going to be real close on whether he can win the regular season championship or not. And I think Kyle Larson has something to say about that. But he'll be starting 9th, 4th on the power rankings. Does not have a win in the last 5, but 2 top 5s, 4 top 10s, and 5 top 20s. 48.7 DraftKings average, 5.8 average finish, starting 9th. Finished 2nd here in the second race last year. 2 wins to his credit here at Michigan. 9 top 5s, 15 top 10s, and 24 top 20s out of his 30 total starts. Next in line, William Byron, 10,200, starting 18th. Did not run very well at the road course last week, since he now gets to start a little bit further back. But this is not one of his better tracks that he has run at in the past, but Hendrick in itself has been running really, really well this year. So 10th on the power ranking, no wins in the last 5, 1 top 10, 4 top 20s, 22.4 DraftKings average, 17.6 average finish. Finished 12th here in the second race last year. No wins out of his 6 total starts at Michigan. 0 top 5s, 1 top 10, and 5 top 20s. Next in line, the guy who has won a lot of races recently at Michigan, Kevin Harvick. I do have him 8th on the power ranking just because his stats for this year are not very good and pulling that average down, but he's $10,000 in starting 8th. 4 wins out of his last 5 starts at Michigan, 4 top 5s, 5 top 10s, 5 top 20s, 79.4 DraftKings average, 2.2 average finishing position. It's impressive. Finished first, of course, here in the second race. 40 total starts here at Michigan, 5 total wins, 15 top 5s, 21 top 10s, and 28 top 20s. I do like Kevin Harvick this weekend. I think he's got to do something to secure his spot in the playoffs, and this may be just the track to do it, because you don't want to wait to try to do that at Daytona. Even though he does run decently well at Daytona, it's just too much of a wild card there. Brad Keselowski next in line here, 9,800, starting 20th, 6 on the power ranking. In the last 5, no wins, 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s, and 4 top 20s, 35.0 DraftKings average, 13.6 average finish. He will be starting 20th. He doesn't have a win here in his last 23 starts, and he finished 39th here in the second race last fall. 7 top 5s to his total credit, 12 top 10s, and 18 top 20s. Brad's such a wild card. I do like the starting spot. I do think he should improve back to being back on an oval track. I think things improve, but don't know. They did mix up all the crew chiefs over at Penske this past week, so that may affect both Brad and Joey, and Ryan Newman, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't mind taking Brad because of his starting spot. Joey Logano, 9,600, starting 1 spot in front of Brad, starting 19th, 3rd on the power ranking. I do like Joey Logano this weekend also. He does have 1 win in the last 5 starts here at Michigan, 2 top 5s, 4 top 10s, and 5 top 20s, 49.3 DraftKings average, 8.2 average finish. He did finish 5th here in the second race last fall. 24 total starts at Michigan with 3 wins to his credit, 7 top 5s, 17 top 10s, and 19 top 20s. He's pretty consistent. I do like Joey Logano this weekend, especially with that starting spot of 19th. Next in line, Martin Truex Jr., 5th on the power ranking, $9,400, starting 5th. 4 top 5s, 4 top 10s, and 5 top 20s in his last 5 starts at Michigan, 53.8 DraftKings average, and a 5.4 average finish. He finished 3rd here in the second race last year. 30 total starts, still doesn't have a win here. 10 top 5s, 13 top 10s, and 25 top 20s. Mumble my words there. I don't know. I think they're better people than Martin. I like Joey Logano much better than I do Martin Truex, mostly for the starting spot. So PD upside there. Chase Elliott, 9,200, starting 2nd, 7th on the power ranking. Not a fan of where Chase Elliott is starting this weekend, especially with what his averages look like. In the last 5 starts, he only has 4 top 10s, no top 5s, and 5 top 20s. 37.9 DraftKings average and a 10.8 average finish. Starting 2nd, that's a PD downside, not a PD upside. Finished 9th here in the second race last year. 10 total starts to his record with only 3 top 5s, but 9 top 10s and 9 top 20s. So he's pretty consistent about finishing close to the top 10, but starting 2nd, that doesn't get you much. So take him if you want. I probably won't have a whole lot of Chase this weekend. Next in line here, Ryan Blaney, the 3rd entry for Penske this week. $9,000, starting 3rd, 13th on the power ranking. In his last 5 starts, he does have 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s, and 3 top 20s. 27.7 DraftKings average, 16.0 average finish. He finished 38th here in the second race last year. 12 total starts to his credit with 3 top 5s, 5 top 10s, and 7 top 20s. All right, next in line here, we've got Alex Bowman, 8,800, starting 10th with a power ranking of 17. No top 5s in the last 5 starts, but 2 top 10s, 3 top 20s, and an 18.1 DraftKings average, and a 19.2 average finish. Finished 36th here in the second race last year. 11 total starts with only 2 top 10s and 4 top 20s. Henrik has been running well, but they're going to have to really turn something around here. Next in line here, Kurt Busch, 8,500, starting 6th. Man, still looking for a ride. I think he's got 2 options, he says. So we'll see where he and his monster sponsorship end up. I still think it's 2311 with Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan. I think he'd be a good fit with Bubba Wallace over there. But back to the stats here. Starting 6th, power ranking of 12th. 1 top 5, 4 top 10s, and 4 top 20s in his last 5 starts with a 35.6 DraftKings average, 10.2 average finish. Did finish 10th here last year in the second race. 40 total starts at Michigan with 3 wins to his record, 7 top 5s, 16 top 10s, and 25 top 20s. Next in line, Eric Almirola, 8,300, starting 23rd, 14th on the power ranking. 0 top 5s, 2 top 10s, and 4 top 20s. Driving a Stewart-Haas car. I don't love Eric. I think he may finish where he's starting, so may not have a whole lot of Eric Almirola this week, especially at the price tag of 8,300. DraftKings average of 20.9 and a average finish of 15.8 in his last 5 starts. Finished 6th here last year. 17 total starts to his record with no top 5s, 2 top 10s, and 11 top 20s. Next in line, Christopher Bell, 8,100. 15th on the power ranking, starting 28th. I do like Christopher Bell's starting spot here. I think there's a lot of decent PD upside here. I think he finishes in the lower teens, if not potentially knocking on the door to a top 10. It's just he and the crew are started to really click together, and driving Joe Gibbs equipment, I think he should easily get himself, like I said, lower teens or even into the top 10. But his stats, these are all prior to coming over to Joe Gibbs Racing. He has 2 top 20s, 33.5 DraftKings average, and a 15th place average finish. He finished 17th here last year and has 2 total starts with those 2 top 20s. He does have 2 Xfinity starts on 11th and 13th. I do like Christopher Bell this weekend with that starting spot. Way better than I like Eric Almirola or Alex Bowman. Austin Dillon, 8,000, starting 26th, another one with a decent starting spot here with some potential PD upside. 9th on the power ranking, does have 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, 3 top 20s, 32.7 DraftKings average, and a 16.4 average finish. Finished 8th here in the second race last year. 17 total starts at Michigan, 2 top 5s, 5 top 10s, 11 top 20s. I do like Austin Dillon's starting spot here. Decent PD upside there. Next here, we've got Daniel Suarez, 7,800, starting 30th. Another one. I like that starting spot. We're going to have a tough time between the 7,800 and 8,100. Yeah, I think you can substitute any of these guys in and would run, if you're running 3 lineups, I would run at least 1 of each of those in each lineup. Maybe 2 out of the 3. Daniel Suarez, 7,800, 11th on the power ranking, starting 30th. 2 top 5s, 2 top 10s, 3 top 20s in his last 5 starts. 40.2 average finish, 14th place average finish. He did finish 26th here in the second race last year, but that was in much less equipment than he is running this year. 8 total starts to his record at Michigan, 2 top 5s, 2 top 10s, 4 top 20s. Next in line, Ross Chastain, 7,700, starting 22nd. 23rd on the power ranking. He has a total of 3 starts here at Michigan in the Cup cars with no top 20s. 10.2 DraftKings average and a 32.0 average finish. That wasn't lesser equipment, but I don't know what to do with Ross. He's got potential, but it's a little risky, so be careful with that 7,700. I do like Daniel Suarez, $100 more than him for this week. He does have 6 Xfinity starts with 5 top 20s. Next in line here, Ryan Preece, 7,500, starting 32nd. I do like Ryan Preece's starting spot, with an average finish of 18.3 in his last 4 starts here at Michigan. 35.6 DraftKings average, 1 top 10 and 2 top 20s, and 18 on the power ranking. I think Ryan Preece should improve here. He is not the best at road courses, but he is much better at ovals, and with his poor performance at Indy last week, gives him a pretty good starting spot this week for PD upside. 7,400, starting 14th, 16th on the power ranking. Has 2 total starts in the Cup cars here, 9.9 DraftKings average and a 21.0 average finish, 1 top 20. Finished 24th here in the second race last year. In the Xfinity Series, he does have 3 starts with 1 win, 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, and 3 top 20s. If he can figure it out, he's going to be really good. And he is battling for a playoff spot, so I think they're going to bring their A game to this. They will probably try to do some things that the rest of the field is not to ensure themselves a decent decent finishing spot, along with probably getting some stage points and potential wins. So I like Tyler Reddick. His starting spot's okay. Yeah, not bad. I like Ryan Preece price and starting spot better though. Next in line, Matty D. Still without a ride for next year. Anybody out there looking to hire a Cup car driver and got the finances and the charter? He's looking. I would take him in a heartbeat. I just like his attitude. I think he's good for the sport. 7,300, starting 4th. Don't love his starting spot. 26 on the power ranking. So caution. 0 top 5s, 1 top 10, 3 top 20s, 29.5 DraftKings average, 17.4 average finish. Finished 7th here in the second race last year. 12 total starts at Michigan with 1 top 10, 3 top 20s. So don't like his starting spot, even though I do like him probably to finish top 10. But I don't know if he makes the optimal lineup or somebody that you want to use to try to get yourself in the money. Ryan Newman, 7,100, starting 16th, 19th on the power ranking out of his last 5 starts at Michigan. 1 top 10, 4 top 20s, 30.5 DraftKings average, 15.2 average finish. He did finish 13th here in the second race last year. 39 total starts at Michigan. Does have 2 wins to his record, along with 6 top 5s, 10 top 10s, and 31 top 20s. Pretty consistent about finishing in the top 20, but finishing in the top 20 won't get you much this on the optimal lineups that we're trying to get to. Next in line here, Cole Custer, first person in red. Stay away. Warning. $7,000. 27th on the starting grid. 7.7 DraftKings average. Has 2 total starts here. 25th place average finish, and finished 25th last year in the second race. And has started 3 times in the Xfinity Series with 1 top 5, 3 top 10s, and 3 top 20s. So did pretty well in the Xfinity car. Still trying to figure this Cup car out. Don't like his price tag. Starting position's okay. I think he finishes where he starts. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 6,900, starting 12th. Not sure I love that. 25th on the power ranking. 3 top 20s in his last 5 starts. 18.0 DraftKings average and a 23.2 average finish. Finished 19th here in the second race last year. 16 total starts to his credit with 1 top 10 and 8 top 20s. Next in line, Chase Briscoe, 6,700. First Cup start here at Michigan. 28th on the power ranking, starting 21st. I have a feeling he's going to finish about where he starts. Xfinity, he has 1 start and finished 7th. Next in line here, Chris Buescher, 6,500, starting 11th. 20th on the power ranking. And his last 5 starts, he's finished in the top 20, all 5 of those starts. 28.0 DraftKings average and an 18th place average finish. Finished 20th here in the second race at Michigan. 10 total starts at Michigan for Chris, and 1 top 10, 7 top 20s. Next in line, Bubba Wallace, 6,400, starting 15th, 29th on the power ranking. And the last 5 starts, he has 1 top 10, 1 top 20, 21.4 DraftKings average, and a 21.6 average finish. Finished 21st here in the second race. 7 total starts at Michigan with 1 top 10 and 3 top 20s. I think you're a little expensive, and I don't like your starting spot. All right, next in line here, Eric Jones, 6,200, starting 13th. 22nd on the power ranking, finished 27th here last year, but in his last 5 starts, 3 top 20, 17.0 DraftKings average, and a 20th place average finish. That's not going to cut it, Eric. 8 total starts at Michigan with 1 top 5, 1 top 10, and 6 top 20s. Don't love his starting spot. Michael McDowell, $6,000, starting 25th, 21st on the power ranking. No top 20s, but 14.7 DraftKings average and a 26.2 average finish. I expect about the same out of Michael McDowell this weekend. Maybe a slight improvement in finishing position. He finished 28th here in the second race. Last year, 14 total starts with no top 20s to his record. Next in line, Anthony Alfredo, 5,800. Starting 35th. That's probably the best thing I can say about Anthony is he is starting 35th. Because he's never raced at Michigan in anything other than maybe iRacing, which I'm sure he's done a lot of sim work this week to get himself ready. 24th on the power ranking, mostly because of how well he has raced from the rear of the field. He's played it smart typically and ends up with a decent finishing position just inside the top 20, or not top 20, but somewhere between 25th and 28th, which gives you some PD upside for a lower price driver. Next in line here, Corey LaJoy, 5,600, starting 24th, 27th on the power ranking this week, 21.3 DraftKings average and 25.6 average finish out of his last 5 starts. 8 total starts here at Michigan, finished 22nd in the second race last year, and no top 20s to his record. All right, we've now gotten to the point where we can kind of go through these fairly quickly. Not going to be taking any of these guys. Cody Ware, 5,400, starting 37th, last on the field. Might be the only upside to Cody this week. 1 start, finished 36th here last time they raced. Next in line, BJ McLeod, 5,200, starting 36th, 30th on the power ranking. And his best finish is 19th in the Xfinity Series. Next in line, Justin Haley, 5,100. Because of that great finishing spot last week, he is starting 17th, and I will be not taking any of Justin Haley this week, and don't recommend you take him either. Only 1 Xfinity start to his record, where he finished 10th. He does hit 5 Cup starts with no top 20s. I'll stay away from Justin this week. Don't like that starting spot at all. James Davidson, 4,900, 34th on the starting spot, 36th on the power ranking. Negative DraftKings average in the last 2 starts, finished 37th. Enough said on that. Garrett Spitley, 4,800. He just had a lot of experience here at Michigan with 4 Xfinity starts and 6 Cup starts. Best Xfinity finish is 17th. Best Cup finish is 32nd. I don't have that actually written down, but I think it's 32nd. But he has a 33.2 DraftKings average finish, starting 33rd. Next in line, the last 2 here, Josh Bilicki, 4,600, starting 29th. Finished 33rd here. His best finish is 21st in the Xfinity Series. I'll be staying away from Mr. Bilicki. Quinn Hoff, starting 31st, 4,500, finished 32nd. His average finish is 30.5. Won't be taking any of Mr. Quinn Hoff either. Optimal lineups in the previous Michigan races from the last 2 years, we'll take a look at. Kind of showing us we should have at least 1, probably 2 dominators, with the rest of the field being place differentials. So Michigan, we had 1 dominator with Kevin Harvick. Both races, we did have a second dominator, kind of, with Ryan Blaney. He did have some PD upside from 11th to 4th, but realistically, last year, 1/2 dominators with 4 to 5 place differentials. We're also looking for those value picks to get us some of those higher price drivers. So don't be too scared. I wouldn't go much below the 50, I was 52, 5300 that we talked about. So take that into account. And 2019, we had 2 dominators with Martin Truex and Denny Hamlin. The rest of the field were place differentials with 1 value guy. When I talk about value, it talks about the low price driver that I think we can use to offset some of the high price drivers. Typically those are sub $6,000 people. So the other Michigan race, Joey Logano led 163 of 200 laps, stumped up the show. And we had 1 value driver there and 4 place differentials. Let's kind of recap here and look through some stuff. Dominators, place differentials, and value/finishing positions. Kyle Larson definitely up top for Dominators, having that pole position and doing extremely well this year and at Michigan and past races. I do expect Kyle Busch to potentially, if Kyle Larson happens to slip, be one of the top Dominators. Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick rounding out the top 5 on Dominators. Place differentials, really like Daniel Suarez a lot. I do like Ryan Preece, even though he's a little bit further down. But Joey Logano, I think, finishes in the top 5, giving us really good PD upside. Austin Dillon should work his way back up into the lower teens, if not top 10. Brad Cave should move up a little bit. William Byron potentially could move up some. But Daniel Suarez, Anthony Alfredo, and Joey Logano should be your place differential drivers for this week. At least that's what I will be hedging my bets on. Value/finishing positions, I think for value, Michael McDowell is one of your better ones, along with Ryan Preece, who has that big PD upside. Tyler Reddick, Matt Benedetto, also in that lower 75 to 7,300 range. I think Alex Bowman ends up finishing in a top 10 spot, so it's some PD upside and a little bit of value at $8,800 for him. Same thing with Kurt Busch. I think he's going to finish about where he starts, so no real PD upside, but good finishing position at an okay price. And Anthony Alfredo, again, we've discussed him. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody tuning in this week to week 20, race 25 of the 2021 season. Hey, do me a favor, like this video, subscribe, share with your friends. Make any comments that you want. If you want to see something a little different, if you want to see something less of, or whatever, we're always open to your feedback and welcome. Have a great weekend and enjoy the race and good luck this weekend. Thanks. Bye.
Get a good deep breath. Get ready to roll here. Only about one thing tonight, getting the W, so got to be around the end to do that. Get ready to roll tonight, boys. Let's go have some fun.
Don't get me any more fired up than I already am.
All the way to the checkered. You're fine. Nobody's got to run. Checker time, baby!
Hell yeah!
Proud of you there, Matt. Good job, pal. Thanks, man. Good job all day. Great work, my man. Great work.
Keep putting yourself in position, we'll win our share, right? We got one back today, brother. Good job.
10-4, great job, guys. Excellent work, my man. Excellent work. Thank you.
Man, that's awesome. Set out with a goal, we got it here, bud. Thank you very much.
Really proud of you, man. Drove your butt off tonight. We had the fastest car here, bud.
Probably killed our deal there. Just feel like I gave one away.
Yeah, boys! Way to rebound! Great job!
Great job, bud. Really good job. Appreciate you hanging in there with us all weekend.
What a weekend. Good job. Thank you.